All right, I guess that's over. Super strange. I'm having sound card issues. I don't know why she swallowed a fly. Man, technical problems already, and I haven't even stirred my ghee into my coffee. So, how you doing this morning? You all right? Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of more than 19,000 foreign exchange traders. We gather here today to conduct technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of putting together trade plans for today and the rest of the week, the rest of the month, the rest of the year. Yeah, if you're new, subscribe. Why? You'll be alerted to the next live stream. So you can ask more questions. Or maybe they ask the same question because I couldn't get to it. Sorry. Please answer the poll so I know what's on your mind. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term. Never risk money you cannot afford to lose. My name is McDonell. Been doing this for about 20 years. Not quite, but getting pretty close. So, like I said, ask questions, get involved, and I'll do my best to share the good, the bad, and the ugly of everything that I've learned along this journey we call Forex. Ultimately, you want to be a cork in the river. You don't want to even attempt to swim upstream. What's the point? So that means I like trend trading. I like global macroeconomics. But yes, I do like spot and carry trading as well. But I also like scalping and swing trading. You're like, oh, those are all different. Yeah. So you got to have a well-rounded repertoire of trading strategies. Happy birthday, Norris. Coolio. So ask questions, get involved, and see what you can learn. Check your negativity at the door. We'll just state right here, I'm not the world's greatest trader, and you're probably better than me. So there's no reason to heckle. Check the negativity at the door. You good, me bad. Yeah, cool. So right on. So we established all of that. We got a Fed meeting later today. That's super interesting. We got some turns in the ends right now. That could be great. Okay. One of the things you need to do on this journey is choose a broker. I recommend Tradersway.com. Open up a demo account. Give them an opportunity to earn your loyalty and respect. You might be pleasantly surprised. You're like, oh, look at the execution speed. Yes, it's fast. Look at the fees. The ECN is cheap. The spreads are narrow. Wow, look, they pay you full swaps. Wow, this is great. Cool. Or they don't. They don't earn your loyalty and respect. You go on somewhere else. You find, like, maybe you say, oh, I want a cheap broker. So you go with this cheapest broker you can find, and they'll slip the heck out of you and charge you negative swap. But if you don't know, who cares? They don't care. Well, Tradersway does care. So if you are looking for a business partner for your successful Forex trading business, you're like, I want Tradersway to execute my trades. If you think about it that way, if you like their business model of hoping that education through Forex.Today might help you be a little more educated and knowledgeable about how the market works technically and fundamentally, gives you the strength to be a little more patient, a little more disciplined, a little more risk averse, a little more consistent. And you're like, wow, Tradersway likes that? Why? Because you'll be a trader 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, and you'll still be a client. Tradersway.com. Hey, missing in action. That's a little rude, man. All right. Yeah. Are we meeting up at FX Bootcamp for the Fed meeting? Yes, we are. If you're part of the day trading group and you've renewed your membership for 2022, then we will meet in the new site that is in the process of being launched. So it's still a whisper. We're still in whisper mode. Okay. Luis says they charge you negative swap for most pairs. Yeah, that's what probably the average broker, especially on smaller, smaller retail accounts. That's probably how they make up the fact that small retail accounts don't make much money, don't generate much income for a broker. So they're like, how can we get a little more out of this? And they're like, retail traders don't know anything about swaps. They don't even know what a swap is. So they'll charge you negative on both, and they'll make that money up. Well, Tradersway simply doesn't do that. So, okay. So yeah, everyone in the day trading group has probably received 4 emails by now asking you to re-up. And with all the super bonuses and discounts, you should do it. All right. So let's take a look at where we are. We'll just leave it here for now. Okay. Lewis, that's just not true. Okay. Pick a pair, any pair. I'll just pick one. Okay, look, huge positive spread. I'll pick the next one. Okay, well, that's maybe with SEK versus dollar. Euro, that's probably not tradable. Let's do this one. Huge positive spread. Pick on Kiwi Yen. I don't know. There's not much of a spread on a lot of these. Okay, part of this is that there's just no interest rates. But you can see the ones that definitely have interest rates, you're being paid. Now, with yen being at zero and dollar on the move and all that kind of stuff, it's weird. Euro's negative, so there's not much positive out there. But, I mean, just pick some of these randomly. Yeah, that's right. That's just different. So the issue is there isn't many spread, but you could even tell by the difference that they're trying to, but there's just no positive swap on a lot of these right now. Yeah, there's just not a positive swap right now. Okay, but on the ones that do, obviously they're paying you. Henry says they increased the swap, especially on peso. Well, that'd be more to do with interest rates changing in Mexico, right? Right. Okay. Well, look, let's go back, Fernando. Right? The swap is paid by the central bank, not by the broker. So the broker can charge you can decide whether to charge you and collect that money themselves or not. So like where there's a real differential, because you got to remember a lot of central banks are at zero. So that's just the central banks, right? And then the conversion of the currencies too get added into this. This isn't pips per se. But anyways, like look at this. You can see the short swap is huge. Okay? Because there is a huge interest rate differential. Go to Rand. Look, it's huge. It's ridiculously huge. Okay? But the rest is just the interest rate differential of the currencies themselves. Okay? That's all. All right. Luis Martinez says, sorry, if I missed the 365 versus the 4990. I'm not sure what you're asking. Cool. I'm not looking at lira. It's just, first of all, I don't consider it a currency anymore. But like, we can check this one. Okay, and it is nutso. Okay. Okay, but here's the thing, it's not tradable. Close only. It's not tradable, so I don't even want to look at it. But yeah, there it is, Mamobix. But it's not a real currency. You can check out the price, and of course it's tanking, but it's a laughing stock of the global finance community. So like, yeah. All right, so let's do, it's not even risky, it's just stupid. Okay. I don't know why Turkey puts up with Erdogan. Okay. Laughing stock of the global community. Okay, so a lot of people have the dollar on the mind. A lot of people have the Fed on the mind. It's cool. Yen, not so much, although I was just looking at yens and they look like they want to move. Crypto just 12%. Crypto went bazonkers yesterday. Okay. Okay. Crypto went bazonkers yesterday. It might have just been Coinbase, right? Okay. But it went crazy, so some people made $1 million yesterday. Right? Starting pop some corks on champagne, and then found out it wasn't true. How'd you like to see that you have $1 million in your in your Coinbase account? And then an hour later, they're like, sorry, our bad. Okay? Cool. So, yeah, so interesting times, all good. So risk on, neutrality, risk on, sort of going, obviously being impacted by the Fed meeting, and now risk back on, but CAD getting crushed. So strange, right? For some reason I'm selling CAD even though I want to buy it. And the other things I want to buy are starting to move up, but right? So then you would expect this to move up. And for me to be knocked out of that trade, it's kind of like, I wouldn't call it a hedge trade, but a counter trade. And yet it's actually working still, like very, very modestly. But it's interesting that that one is still down. It's kind of weird. Okay. So we're taking a look at this. This is sort of what we covered in the day trading group yesterday. And we discovered in a lot of these pairs that we're actually in the swing zone. Even though we're in the day trading group, we were recognizing the swing setup. Because if you remember going back to, I don't know, about Thursday of last week, we were here. And so like the swing trading group was doing things like making this a buy zone if you're a bull. Right? And so after a day or so of this down, you can get lost in the forest and say, oh, it's all danger and ugly and monsters lurk everywhere. But if you kind of step above the canopy a little bit, you can see all we did was set up. And there was a lot of these here, right? Okay. Interesting, right? Now, part of all of this is if you're a bear, you got a beautiful entry Friday and Sunday. And if you're a bull, it did set up exactly on your price. And now we don't really know who's going to win. And even though this isn't impacted directly by the Fed can set up risk on or risk off for the rest of the month, right? But going back to this, 80.66 targets this 83. Sorry, 83. By the way, this just reminded me of something. I got an email from somebody yesterday telling me how disappointed they were that I was canceling the swing trading group. dude, I'm not canceling the swing trading group. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No. The swing trading group is alive and strong. By the way, if you're in my swing trading group, let's meet tomorrow. Yeah. Just to show you it ain't dead. But here's the swing trade that we set up last week. It has good potential here. We got to get through 8150, but it's all good. Right? That's a pretty reasonable trade. It's got a reasonable amount of hope. And now, of course, you're stuck probably, stop jammed at break even going into a Fed meeting, right? Hero or zero. But, look, that might be all right. This trade in here, if you recall, even though it was going up, I didn't like it because for you to trade that early last week, you had to buy a falling market, buy through the 21, buy through the 55, okay, buy through the weekly swing, buy through the 200, okay, and then hit this target. I'm like, no, because that would be a hell of a gamble and a hell of a return. But the better move now is, now that it made the high, if you're a bull, seek something like that. Okay? So even though this went up all last week, it's sort of like the reaction that's much more better, right? Yeah, Famabix, nobody thinks they're going to raise interest rates. That would be ridiculous. Even 92.3 is ridiculous. It should be 99.3. Okay? Coolio. Take a look at the Kiwi. As you can see, we're right on the line. Once again, the day trading group met last night and discussed one of these things, or this as well, that I said we needed to be grateful that we were still on our buy zone, even though the week opened up, advantage bears. If there was going to be some up, it would have to be in here or way down here on a double bottom. And that's just hanging out in sort of nowheresville. So there's some potential here, right? There's some potential here. Now, we got a 4-hour, right? No, I know where you got it, Famobix, right? Right? Maida says, but Wayne, is there a way to continue the swing trading group without joining? Of course! Oh my God! No one's been canceled, right? Everybody that was a swing trader is a swing trader, for sure. But you have to log into the new site. Ananda, the same time we've always met, 4 p.m. Okay, but in the new site, I've sent you emails. You got to log in, create a new password, and that's that. You have access to all the new training courses, a total of 89 lessons now, right? And access to the swing trading community. Even a place for you to post trade setups and get feedback by your fellow swing traders. Oh yeah, for sure, Maida. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, totally, right? Okay. So anyway, so look at this. This is the conundrum that we're in, and we've been calling this cross currents. Technically there's some down. Fundamentally, I want up. So what do you do here? And so one of the things we've been discussing is you kind of start trading it like a range. And a trend trader, especially an aggressive one, is going to try to predict the move before it happened technically, aka front run. Okay? But, you might have tried this before and got burned. Well, that's part of it. That's why your loser should be small. Pete says the site is clean and nice. Thank you. And I think so too. I think the user experience is much improved. Yes. Well, I don't know what membership we want, Matrix, but, right? The live groups are either 99 or 199. Okay. It's not very expensive. All right. So anyway, so look, there's some hope there, right? What a swing trader knows is that that's the target, and that would set us up for next week as well. Okay. Does everyone have the new site? I've emailed swing traders and I've emailed day traders. I think I've even emailed everyone that purchased the courses this year. No, it's not. No, I'm just rolling over current members. You're on that one, huh? Yeah, it's worthy, right? It's worthy. It's still risky because clearly it's not an uptrend, but it would be the right price. One would stink about it, okay? Like if you drag this across, you can see it's not a random price, 75, right? Yeah, well, yeah, you only have the video courses. Good. That means you only paid for video courses. Yeah. Good. You were able. Good. Right on, Aaron. Well, we'll just wait, Matrix, if you want to join. That's right, White Rock. Okay, how about our beast? Okay, this goes back maybe... Once again, I think it was Mr. D's question about how to trade through this. And the advice was trade it like a range. Buy it at the bottom, sell it at the top, buy it at the bottom, sell it at the top, buy it at the bottom, sell it at the top, buy it at the bottom. And you either sell it at the top in anticipation of another move down, or you let it break, let it pull back, and then take a new shot next week. Obviously, we got a high volatility event coming up today, so anything could happen. This might break technically and then drop fundamentally, or vice versa, be technically overbought, okay? Be technically overbought, but then pop because it's fundamentally now cheap. But we have to get through that event. But the point is, a lot of things are starting to work, and we've been patient, okay? Not even patient, but one of the messages I've been trying to get across to the groups is that things are not, despite Omicron and a lot of the shutdowns that we've been getting and some of the surprise volatility we've been getting, nonetheless, despite all of that, there's a lot to be grateful for in the marketplace. One of them, for example, is the projected low for November, okay, that we had in early November was this price right here. Look at that. That's the projected low for November that we had on November 1st. And on the last day of November, we hit it to the exact pip. Not one pip short, not one pip long. Perfect. And since then, we have not gone lower in December. We have not made a low in December, but we have made a higher high. And now we've set up the higher low. And this was, again, the basis of our conversation yesterday, not in the swing trading group because that meets Thursdays, but on Tuesday night in the day trading group, we're like, well, we might not have the day trades, but the swing trades are still legit, hardcore legit opportunities. Because again, when we were over here, we were discussing plan A and plan B in the swing trading group. Plan B is in play. Okay? And you never even had a plan A that set up. So you only had the plan B. Now, we don't know if it'll work, but what does it show us? It still stopped falling. In fact, there's plan B is our higher low, potentially. And if we get a new higher high, of course, we're on our way up here to 129.5 to maybe 130. Yeah, it's only 200 pips, but beggars can't be choosers either, right? Right? Isn't that cool? So I propose to the group that we should be grateful that in some of the last few weeks, sometimes it seems like chaos, especially like I'd buy something technically bullish, in Asia, and then wake up in New York and find out London sold it hard and broke all the technicals. And you're like, what? But only in the shorter terms. In the medium term, it's been okay. Now, yes, I've had some 2155 crosses up that then cross back down, but that just shows us neutrality of the market as we await the Fed and figure out what all these changes are. Remember, we started November with a long taper announcement, and now we have a short taper announcement, and you're like, wow, like the Fed actually changed its policy and then changed the policy again. That's a lot to digest in November, plus Omicron. Plus now the UK shutting things down. You're like, what? Okay. So despite all of that, this is actually quite logical. And I'm grateful for that, because if it was chaos, there'd be no opportunity. Okay. So I've been short this one for 2 or 3 days now, and it hasn't done anything. But I kind of chuckled to myself because everything else looks more up, and this is still quite down, right? And I'm still making money, but I don't even know why. Well, part of this is that the IEA report. Did anyone actually find it? We couldn't find it. Right? Where I'm like, hey, a little birdie whispered in my ear telling me that we actually have a surplus right now, and that would bring oil prices down. But then we couldn't find the report, but yet oil prices are down, bringing the CAD with it. And I'm like, well, I don't know how I got the information, but at least I'm right. And for some weird reason, all the yens are going up except CAD yen, and I'm actually short CAD yen. So I'm like, Oh, you did, White Rock? Good. I'm glad then that I'm not just full of crap, right? All right. Good. Thank goodness, I would say. Okay, cool. Now, piggy, can't you see? So we're in this mode. One of the things we were doing last night is I said, hey, just stay out of it. Stay out of it at this price. And that the logical way of playing this one as well is also a range. But don't be in here. And I forget the analogy I used, but I think it was funny. I don't remember. It wasn't Nomad's Land. I used some graphic range. Something in here. I don't know. But at that time, we were like on this line, right? So I'm like, dude, it could drop here. It could go up. But there's no reason to get involved, right? Okay. Famobix is 80% Kiwi yen up. That is true. I don't know if the 80% is true, but every year that I can remember, how about this? I'll reverse it. I don't remember the last time I've spent the last 4-week period buying dollar and buying yen. I just don't remember it. Like, it's really strange. I just don't recall. There have been times maybe for a few days or a week, maybe something news related, but not this long. And of course, the way I remembered November, and of course, the way I remember and what actually happened, any human can really, people's memories are not very accurate. Let's just put it that way. But the way I remember October, for example, we had this big up month and we crushed it, killed it, just destroyed it. And then I took profit at the very top, which is nice because that's what the Wayne do, or at least that's what he wants to do or tries to do. So I had a kick-ass October, cashed out at the top, still in October, and expected a pullback in November, maybe a week, maybe two. And then we would fire for effect to the upside because that's what I always do. And so, so in, out. And then when we got into like potential buy zones, I tried in again, up, in again, up, in again, up. And then, but what actually happened was, right? And so, holy smokes, eh? This I get. But this was the Omicron reaction and maybe even overreaction. But it's not an overreaction if the UK shuts its entire economy down because one person was died of Omicron. How many people died by getting run over by, what do you call those black car cabs in London? What do you call those black car taxi cabs? Black cabs. I forget what you call them. Anyways, I was going to try to look it up, but no, it's not going to come up. But I'm sure more people... Yeah, Uber, thank you. I bet you more people have been run over by a taxi cab in London than killed by Omicron. But, all right. Shut the whole economy down, huh? Okay. Yeah, I would guess so, right, Gary? I mean, dude, more people have, jumped off of a bridge or, like there's so many, more people probably have died choking on potato chips. Okay. Darko's like, there's more than one color black cab. Okay. So I hope I wasn't, culturally insensitive. All right. Okay. So here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. What does this say here? Okay. This I must have drawn last week. Okay. And what this shows is if you're kicking off the moving averages, this will be what moves it up, but then that'll probably create a counter trend. And the more likely scenario, again, guys, this is last week. This is Thursday. Okay, today is Wednesday, almost a week ago. Okay, so the conversation in the swing trading group was we're up here and this was an epic week. Okay. We actually went from a lower low to a higher high, which is dangerous to trade in of itself. But what happens next is the opportunity for someone disciplined and conservative, right? So the first opportunity is this comes down into the moving averages and then pops up and it'll take you there. But then you got to be really careful about, okay, profit taking. Okay, so that's one. Okay, now the second more likely thing is what? Instead, we double top on the M3, come down to this area, which I have both as the weekly buy zone and a monthly M2, which is a buying pivot, and then you get your setup. Okay? And once again, how we like to break things down, this is a potential plan A, and you might have taken it and it got you all the way to the double top on Friday, so it was a profitable trade. Not likely something you would have taken profit on. More likely you would have jammed your stop and then hoped for the best, right? Instead, what happened is we came down, took 1, 2, 3 days. Here we are on Wednesday, and we're right on top. Look at this, to the pip. Okay? To the pip of the analysis we did on Thursday. Okay? Tuesday's low. Okay? Was predicted on Thursday, okay, of last week. Double bottomed on Wednesday, Oscar Mike, Wednesday afternoon. And now what do I know? Now I don't know anything. Okay? Now I don't know anything because there's Fed. The Fed is the issue. And anything could happen on that. Because the way I think about it right now, when it comes to the taper, you can get 10 economists together to discuss what will happen, and you'll get 13 opinions. Okay? So, but this is technical analysis that I'm talking about here. Okay? This M2 predicted the M4. Look how perfect it was. So if you're going to carry that as a swing trade, okay? Okay? Then that's the plan right here. And we knew that last week. Simple swing trading. Okay? So we're going to meet tomorrow, swing traders. I hope you like the new site. Okay? Now, a lot of people got the email and it says log in, and you try to log in and it says your password's wrong. Just reset your password because it's a new site. And there's a level of security on there that just says, hey, welcome back, bro, but reset your password. Okay? So just go ahead and do that, and it'll see your email associated with your membership level transferred from the old site to the new site. So just go ahead and just reset your password, and you should be golden. And since the new site doesn't know your old password, you can put in your old password, and that should work too, right? But the thing is, I'm not going to try to capture that and then move it manually because it would be insensitive to the security measures. You understand? Okay. Well, if you had canceled, I don't know if you canceled Meta. If you had actually canceled it, then when I drew the list of active members, it wouldn't have put you on the list. But if you want to come back, right, I can make that happen for you. Now, you should, I think, be on the list for the courses. So that would be the most interesting one. Well, that's strange. Or maybe it got blocked, or maybe it got thrown into your promotions tab or something. But yeah, look, you're a long-standing member, so I'll take care of you. If you want back into the swing trading group, I'll take care of you for sure. Okay. Okay, you sent me an email. Great. Good. Okay? So I'll get you taken care of. No, the old site's totally working fine. Okay? Yeah. In fact, it's nothing's changed over there. I'll roll it over probably next week and hopefully have everybody transitioned by then. Did anybody buy the video training courses like 2 or 3 or 4 years ago? If you're in that camp and you paid, there's been all kinds of deals. You might have paid $1,200, you might have paid $888, you might have paid $777, depending on super sales we had over the years. And then we got hit by COVID, so then I dropped the price from $1,600. I dropped it all the way down to like $382 or something like that. So if you're in that situation, you might have paid $382, you might have paid $777, you might have paid $888, you might have paid $1,000. I'm going to bring you guys back so you can see all the new courses, and you're going to pay less than $100. No, Lesso, the swing group is technically done for the month, but if you roll over to the new site, you don't have to buy it again. You're already an active member. I've already sent you the email. So just log in, reset your password, and we'll meet tomorrow. Easy enough. Okay? Easy enough, man. Easy enough. I'll take care of you, huh? You don't have to do anything. Just log in is all I'm asking you to do. Okay, cool. So now let's take a look at the Aussie and pound we did. Euro, okay? What do we know about euro? This is what a bull is thinking. Okay, so how would a bull buy this? Well, last week, again, back on Thursday of last week, this is what we said for a bull. If you were going to buy, you needed a higher high move, and then you'd buy at this price, and right? And look at this. This is Thursday. We needed a higher high, and then a higher low, and 1.1260. 112.60 would be our buying price. Or a little bit lower, but that's a different play, okay? But nonetheless, that's what we're hoping for. Now, on that same Thursday, again, we were out here, if you were a bear, you actually wanted a pullback because bears only sell high. Do you understand that? A lot of people confuse all of this. Bears sell double tops or, right, lower highs. So we looked at this and we're on a lower low on Thursday, and all this tells us is we're bearish. That's all. So a bear has to sell high. So on Thursday, we used our tools and said 113.79 would be the first opportunity. Got it Friday afternoon, never looked back. So here's what I'm getting at. Bulls and bears exist in this market. Bears did sell it exactly where you would expect a bear would sell it. And a bull bought it exactly where you would expect a bull to buy it. And if you're in the middle, okay, you're getting destroyed. Well, Jim says the old swing trade ended. Well, technically it didn't end, right? The day trading group ended because that was a 3-month special opportunity or special deal. People asked for the help, so I stepped up. So that just expired. But swing trading group is always, right? But there are holidays, right? There are holidays. The market gets thin, market gets closed, all that kind of stuff, right? So technically swing trading hasn't ended. It just, right? And in fact, we'll meet tomorrow in the new site. So that's all. Yeah. Take a look at commodities, eh? Okay. So what'll happen, Jim, and when I finally move the new site to the fxbootcamp.com URL, you'll log in as a swing trader going like, maybe you've been away and you don't know any of this, and you'll log in and you're like, and it'll say your password's not working. So you'll say, okay, reset password. You'll reset your password. You'll log in and you're like, oh, damn, this has been upgraded. And you wouldn't even know there was a change. I mean, you'll see, right? But so maybe I'll just do that. Maybe I should just do that and get it over with. Okay, so Bitcoin, okay, yeah. Bitcoin went ape crazy, like I said last night on, well, I don't know if it was Bitcoin, but anyways, let's just look at this technically. And the technicals haven't really changed. It's been over a day, so this is the day, right? And look, we've been at this price now for a while. Oh yeah, it's easy. Okay, so what do you do with this? Another thing I want to point out here, let me phrase this as a question like Jeopardy. Based on this chart, is this price overbought or oversold? We're somewhere between the 50% and 618. Overbought or oversold? Yeah, you have to go to the new site, Meta. So if you don't have the email. Yeah, neither. The price is right. This is the fair market value for Bitcoin. That is what Bitcoin is worth. That's why we're stalled out there. Yeah, that's why we're stalled out there. Hey man, somebody should put that in a book so everybody knows. Oh, I put that in a book 15 years ago. Okay. BRAD got into the new website. Yeah. Neat, right? So that's it. That's all that says. And that's on a daily chart too, guys. That's on a daily chart. Okay. What do we see here on oil? Okay, swing traders, what do you see? A swing trader would sell this, okay, and a swing trader would buy this. This is a bearish bias, and this is a bullish bias. You're like, man, there's so much going on here. It's hard for me to pull it all together and see things. I double see things. I'm buying and I'm selling, and then I'm selling and then I'm buying. And you're like, well, that's not how you trade, by the way. So let's simplify things. Swing trading, bearish bias. Okay? Okay? That pink zone is your sell zone. Off a triple top. Cool. That makes it easier, doesn't it? Huh? That's nice and clean, isn't it? That's the trade for the week. If you're bearish on oil. That's the trade of the week. Now you're like, oh, but Wayne, I'm a bull. Okay. Swing trading bullish bias. Okay. Now we zoom in. Okay. This is the neutral price for a bull. This is the best price for a bull. Cool. Does it mean it will go up? No. But it means if you're a bull, this is where you'll look for opportunities to buy. So maybe it heads here, and then it comes down, and then it goes up. But the thing is, it's part of a strategic plan. There's no tactical entry here per se. Okay? But strategically, that's when you get serious about considering about maybe buying. And then you're like, well, what time frame do I make a decision? And I say, that's a good question. What's your answer? Okay. But that's the good question. That's the right question to be asking. When do you engage? But strategically, you know why you're engaging, and that, right? And the price in which you're trying to engage. So maybe it has something to do with $70 a barrel. And you're up for the next 2 weeks, maybe. I don't know. Okay? But once again, think of it this way. Thursday of last week, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, okay? Somewhere in here, we knew that these prices were important. $13, $14, $15. So Thursday of last week is in there. Okay, so yeah. So we were up here Thursday. Looks like down Friday. Okay, and then we're just on the best price right now, I have to reiterate, it doesn't say up. Okay? And then we know the other price was about here. That doesn't say sell. Okay? You have to filter through the noise with your bias. Your bias makes you, in normal life, gives you the ability to make snap decisions without being overwhelmed by information in your life. Okay, imagine if you're driving down the street in your car and every time you had to really stare at every car passing you, every car parked on the side of the street, every car in every other lane, every other car coming toward you. You have to stop and you're like, oh my God, look at that car. And then what kind of car is that? And who's driving that? Or like, you make basic assumptions. These cars in the other lane are going to stay in their lane. They're not going to cross the yellow line and kill you. Okay? And that someone's going to see the stop sign and stop. You make that assumption. But they could just drive right through and kill you. Well, a lot of people, if you couldn't make those assumptions, I mean, that's a form of bias. Your assumption that they're going to stop. You're biased to their ability to follow traffic rules. So sometimes these biases are cruel and lead to, bad human behavior. But most of our biases are quite helpful because we can't stop and say, well, do I know this person in the other car? Do I know for a fact that they're going to stop at that stop sign? Well, what's their track record like for driving, right? You just can't have all that kind of information. So to kind of get closer to a snap judgment, you use your bias and say, oh, I'm a bear and I think this is high enough. So if I see this roll over to the downside, I'm going to sell it. And you move from a 1 hour to a 5 minute or something like that. And if you're a bull and you just enjoyed this higher high, you're like, oh, well, it's going to come down here. It'll create a higher low. So if I can get, some price action that's favorable, I'm going to go north. I'm going to buy it and let it run. Okay? 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 Brad, I think if you click on it, it tells you it's 5 meetings. Okay? It used to be a lot more than that, but I don't know. I wanted to try their coaching module that's in there. So I popped that in. It's kind of neat where what'll happen is I believe you'll pay for it. And then you can use a calendaring application in the site to book time with me. And then we can meet via Zoom, which is kind of neat. And it's all organized and you get emails and follow-up emails and schedules it in your calendar, schedules it in my calendar. It's kind of neat. Cool. Okay. Neat, right? Technically, I think that's quite neat. Gold, 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 gold. Inflation is the highest it's been in 40, 50, 60 years, depending on your measure of inflation. And you were told gold would go up. Okay? I didn't say it. Yeah, I didn't put much time into that because I haven't coached people in 5 or 6 or 7 years. I just haven't had time. It's just like, I don't have time for that. I just don't have time. Sorry. I went to Harvard, though. But only for 5 years. Yeah, isn't that amazing? I can't believe. I remember telling you guys, too, I got accepted into an elite Harvard program for graduate students. Less than 1% of applicants were accepted, and I'm signing up for a 4-year degree. That was after my first year taking, sort of random classes. And then I said, look, I'm doing this to be an inspiration to my children, but I also want to inspire you that it's going to take at least 4 years of really hard work and sacrifice and time and money and even the relationships in your life to get a handle on Forex. But I said, I just signed up for a 4-year program that cost the same as a Lamborghini. And it's going to take 80 hours a week, including summers. I'm going to have to give up vacations to do all of this. But I'll tell you, 4 years will go by fast. And if I can do it, then use me as an example as you can do it, because I'm going to have to work through all that. I'm going to have to raise a family through all of that. I need to trade through all of that. And my goal was to be an A student. Well, I was an A student. I got through it, got the degree, did all right through all of that. And yeah, it was only 4 or 5 years of Harvard, right? So, dude, if I can do that, I know you guys can step up and focus on Forex. And I don't know how many people are putting somewhere between 40, 60, and 80 hours a week into Forex and be married and raise children and try to earn money at the same time. Right? But I know it can be done. I got a bachelor's degree in macroeconomics and a graduate degree, a master's degree in financial management. Did postgraduate work at Harvard Business School on alternative investing. Postgraduate work at MIT for cryptocurrencies. And postgraduate work at Oxford in algorithmic programming. All of which was quite awesome, to say the least. Quite awesome. Like really pretty cool stuff. Okay. Cool stuff. Neat. So total, it was more like when I decided to go back to school in my 40s, I ended up doing 6 years worth of work. Okay. 4 of them as a full-time student. Full-time. Okay. And not sort of, I didn't go to edX. Right? I didn't go to edX. Right? Look at that. That's my Harvard ID. Now, of course, it doesn't work anymore. I'm no longer a student. But that gets you into all the libraries and all the research facilities and all the buildings. Right? Like, not edX. Oops. And to get that, you have to be a full-time student. Yeah. Awesome. Francisco says, what's the biggest lesson? You know what? If you're meeting with someone like, let's say, another Ivy League person, and you got through that school with an A, okay? What it means to the other person is you're a tough son of a bitch and you're reliable. That you can handle unbelievable workloads and stresses and stand up strong, even if you got pushed down. It doesn't make you smart, okay? I mean, it does make you smart. But the thing is, it provides a level of consistency that is second to none. That's what it says. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. It tells someone that you're reliable. Yeah. For sure. So that's that. It's just proof. That's right. That went out last night, I think. Last night. Anyways. All right, so Coolio, that's all I got to say. It's going to be an interesting day. I don't know. There's your peso. Okay. Obviously, change in direction there. Back above 21. I'll remind you that back in the day, the peso was worth 8. Now it's 21. It could go down back to 8, right? Cool. So let's leave it at that. Once again, if you're in my day trading group, whether, right, if you've upgraded to day trading or if you renewed to day trading, right, if you must have received multiple emails by now. So if you rejoined for 2022, we've been meeting all week as a bonus week, another bonus. Besides you saving $100, there's also we're meeting for the Fed meeting. We agreed to meet to log into the room about 1:50. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the press release is sent out. The statement is made. Okay, and then at 2:30 we have the press conference and Q&A. So that's what we're going to do today in the day trading group. Okay, we're going to get the news, talk about the news, but also watch the markets for its volatility. And it could be a doozy. Because like I said, you get 10 economists together today and you'll get 13 opinions. Why such volatility? Well, there's a differentiation between the interest rate hikes and this taper, the rate of taper. This time of year, typically you're holding trades to the end of the year for tax reasons, but with some volatility that scares a lot of investors out of stock portfolios. Also, we're in a rotation of portfolio construction from growth to value or small cap or international. So traders are going to cash, but the problem with cash is you're earning less than 1%. Depending on where you buy in the yield curve, but there's 7% inflation. So you're getting killed in cash, but you're trying your best to hang on till the end of the year so you don't have to pay taxes. So there's a lot going on. And so when you get to January, much of the rotation may have already occurred, but then now you got rebalancing that will occur in January. So holy smoke. So whether it's rotation, rebalancing, going to cash, profit taking, volatility, hedging, the taper versus rate hikes and tot plots and oh my God, and inflation. And last year we had to worry about base effects, making inflation look too high. But now next year we'll probably have base effects the other way around. And what does it mean, Basil? And why isn't gold going up if inflation is rampant? And why is the dollar not weak? And Omicron and oh my God. Makes life interesting. See you later.